Hi guys, welcome to this upload for you guys today, and thank you ever so much. What's that? Breaking news! Breaking news that is, I've got 22 subscribers. Yes! I cannot believe it. I cannot believe I'm at 22 already. Can't thank you ever so much for you guys. Keep tuning in, keep supporting. End of the day, you are the ones that make it possible for me to talk about wrestling in my bedroom at the age of 42. End of the day, I enjoy talking about professional wrestling. Even if it's positive, negative, or hot take videos, end of the day, even towards reviewing the weekly product. Because quite honestly, I feel like a lot of things needs to be addressed in the wrestling world, in the wrestling realm, when it comes to like my hot take videos. I brushed upon this very matter indeed on my Raw review that I actually uploaded not that long ago here onto YouTube. So go check that out. Please do. Just want to say to every one of you guys is that one thing that really baffles me to the point where you see so many people say the same thing, right? I know it sounds weird to say that, but they say the same thing, right? Always happens when it comes to professional wrestling. And that same thing is that they'll stick up for the brands, granted. But the problem is when it's the drizzling shits, I'll tell you straight, it was the drizzling shits. But the catch is, what I'm saying to you guys is that when it comes to when WWE fans think they know better than the company than themselves, what I'm getting at is, right, I literally say this: AEW is direct competition with WWE. Period. They are literally direct competition. You know? Don't class TNA as a competition anymore because they're doing working relationships with the likes of the WWE. So let's see this, right? If they're not a direct competition towards WWE, but they want to hurt AEW, why the hell are they starting to do shows and confirming shows other than big ones like WrestleMania or SummerSlam, such as Evolution pay-per-view? Why would you confirm that on the same weekend? It's not in the same state, keep in mind, but it's in the same state. When at the moment, AEW have got a good traction going forward with the women's division. You've got the likes of Mercedes Moné putting a clinical match with Jamie Hayter, for example. You got the likes of Mina versus Tony Storm. That was a clinic of a match going forward on that. Where you've literally got the likes of Mercedes Moné versus Tony Storm's going to be a clinic of a match anyway. You know, it's talk of the town at the moment, matter of speaking. Social media town. Right? That a lot of neutral wrestling fans are looking forward to it. Then you got the WWE fans saying, oh, but this, and this, and this. I want to say this. This match is a missed opportunity that WWE should have had years ago. You know, they messed about it with Tony Storm. They messed about it with the likes when she was Sasha Banks. You know. Granted, she never went back. It proves that she weren't getting listened to. That's why she technically left and never went back. You know? This is the problem where it lies. When you've got something that's been golden, built up perfectly, then all of a sudden, women's pay-per-view on the same, I think it's the same night as All In. Then you got Saturday Night Main Event. No one's actually bothered about because look at my thoughts and opinions towards Saturday Night Main Event. You know, I've watched every one so far, and it still feels the same way as I've done in that video. I didn't talk about them individually. There's no point because it seems very samey, the same reaction what I'll be doing. Then you've got the likes of NXT Great American Bash, same weekend. If they are not a direct competition, why are they organising shows on the same weekends as that? But you don't see AEW go, oh yeah, we're going to put a show on. Okay, fair enough. We're going to literally put the same weekend as your WrestleMania in the same state or not. They're not going to put it on the same they're not going to put an event on the same weekend as SummerSlam. You know? In August, they're coming over to here in the United Kingdom. So what I'm saying to you guys is, if you think this is the internet fan base that really makes me laugh, you really think that WWE does not see competition from AEW? When I see it clear as day. You know? Why do you think it was like earlier on when people literally were saying, oh, it's Wednesday Night Wars with Dynamite and NXT? Why do you think NXT moved nights? Because they couldn't accept the battle between, obviously, AEW beating them in the ratings. So they moved to a Tuesday night thinking it was better. You know, that's why they did it. And fans built it up for a while, saying, it's Wednesday Night Wars and all this lot. And then they were making out, oh, we don't think nothing of AEW. But as soon as they've got the traction going, what WWE is lacking and missing, you know, pizzazz, that's a weird word to use, I know, a lot of charisma, a lot of showing what the new talent can do. And what they've done over the years since obviously the Wednesday Night Wars, right? Throughout, that just was a massive achievement in itself. AEW was on a roll, on a roll, on a roll. Now, because there's technically no competition on a Wednesday night, you know, what screws AEW off when they have to move nights? Because of different sporting events. That really screws up AEW's momentum sometimes. And I'll say this. But I see the likes of when AEW put on a pay-per-view. Yes, a pay-per-view. But the problem is where it lies, where I'm saying this. When people say, oh, it's no direct competition. I feel like this time around, no disrespect to the women, I would be looking forward to watching that as well. Like I've already done a video on it about they need to up the game of the women's divisions. Go check that out, please do. It's on my channel. Right? For this all women's pay-per-view to sell, not because it's brand whoring, because they literally have. This is how I feel, the way the fans are being hard done by. The ticket bundle situation. The freaking ticket bundle situation. So you're obligated to buy into that ticket obligation to buy those free tickets as a bundle. Obviously, later on down the line, they will release separate tickets. I've already mentioned this before. But you need to see where you really want to invest. You are literally forced to buy these ticket bundles. If Evolution at the moment, the way I see it, and I'll say this, and I'm being brutally honest, it's not disrespect to the women that are going to be involved with that event. It's the way WWE's been lazy and booking them. You know? What are you doing with the mid-card titles? Fair enough. You got the likes of Becky Lynch and Lyra at the moment feuding. Job well done. That's one of the best ones you've done in a long time. Not for the mid-card title, for the women in general. But it could be a lot betterly done. It proves how good it is when you've literally got in your venue, you hosted Monday Night Raw. No one was freaking invested into that feud. I don't know why, but I feel like it's not working in the women's division at all. You know, that match I feel like will be underrated from Backlash. You know, and it's going to be a good match at Money in the Bank. That's technically the only match I'm already looking forward to, more than the Money in the Bank matches themselves. You know. If it's going to be predictable, there's no point watching it. I'm not saying a matter of speaking, but I mean, I'm hoping to watch it. Hoping to watch it live. It just depends, obviously, with my new job and that lot, because I just start next Monday. But I'm just saying to you guys is that I'm looking at Money in the Bank and I'm thinking, yes, this is the drizzling crap. You know, don't get me wrong, that women's match is the only one I'm looking forward to. You know, and that's so far. You don't know what you're doing with you're basically the world title. You don't know what you're doing with the WWE women's title. You don't know what you're doing with your tag team division. You don't know what you're doing with your US title. It's getting lazier and lazier and lazier. And how you meant to get this event up off the ground and to sell is by putting this as a free ticket bundle. You know, that's a shocking behaviour beyond belief. Those sort of tactics that WWE are trying to make more money. I feel like if this was sold on its own, I feel like it wouldn't be selling at all. It's just really frustrating to see them, like, how to put it, try to go head to head with the likes of the WWE, with AEW, one of the vital pay-per-views of their year. You know, it's living proof how much, other than what happened and what I've already touched upon on my Monday Night Raw review, that I feel like when I look at what they are doing right now, I'm like, you haven't got that long to build this all women's pay-per-view, you know? And for this to go head to head with the likes of AEW's All In, I'm hoping that All In thrives. You know, it needs to thrive. Because quite honestly, that's what people pay for. I feel like at the moment, the way WWE are doing stuff is because, fair enough, it was less when it went to the WWE Network, but I feel like you're getting less of a product because it's on Netflix now. How are you going to get more eyes onto your products towards the WWE is if try and act like a direct competition, not do the tactics where you are doing booking shows at the same time as AEW. You know, it's a weird tactic what they are doing. Don't get me wrong, it gives me a headache. Yeah, fair enough. I enjoy watching wrestling, but it's bad enough when you got the likes of SummerSlam and the likes of WrestleMania being 2 nights. This past WrestleMania, I've said this many times and I'll say it again, should be on 1 night. SummerSlam, I feel like after probably this SummerSlam, I'll turn around and go, should have been on 1 night. You know? It just, for the money that you pay to go to see WWE is outrageous at the moment. Yes, there's a massive outcry. Yes, there's a massive frustration in this world. But you've got to understand, with this frustration, yet you still get people supporting WWE. I'm not saying don't, but it's when people literally want to shame AEW for certain things. I've already done I've done a video on WWE fans claim they don't watch AEW. Go check that one out, please do. But that's what I mean. It's like if they're not seeing AEW as a competition, why are you planning shows where people are forced to pick between the two? You know, the weird thing about it was how I felt about last weekend, how it panned out. You had TNA that does a PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to class it is, on a Friday. They won't mind that. WWE won't, because they're working relationship. It went head to head with SmackDown, didn't it? Then you look at, or was it SmackDown on Friday? Yeah, it was on Friday. I'm losing track of thought because siren just went off in my area, not in my house. Then you literally had Saturday night main event. Nothing phased it. Fair enough. Come to Sunday. NXT Battleground was on a Sunday. If I recall, I don't know, I haven't checked out NXT in a long time. I've heard their show was great, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking them. But if I recall, they did their fucking PLEs or pay-per-views, whatever you want to class it as, midweek. Like it's a TV special. Why would you go direct if AEW don't see a direct competition? I mean, WWE don't see AEW as direct competition. Why the hell are you putting that sort of type of show on direct competition with your competition? Because people are going to go... you're hoping people go to watch it on whatever platform it was on in the States, or here in the United Kingdom it was watching it on Netflix. You was hoping that would happen. People would tune into the Netflix product because you're weighing people's money up. Yeah, fair enough, people are making more expense going to the shows in person, but you're weighing up between a pay-per-view provider, which over here in the United Kingdom it was £20, right? To something that's free included on your Netflix. You're doing that, you're thinking, oh, okay, fair enough, literally got people tuning into my product. I don't care. You know, that's why I feel like with the likes of AEW, you pay and you get more. I'm not disrespecting the people that are in NXT, don't get me wrong on that one. I don't disrespect anyone that gets in that ring. It's just the way the books and the way they handle the matches. So if you literally think about it and not say, oh, they're not direct competition, what you're talking about. No, they're literally trying to... They can't affect the TV specials when AEW do them, because WWE are on different nights. So imagine if they originally turned... went, just say a prime example, TV special that's coming up, Fight Fest, that's 4 hours long. You think they're going to literally... WWE going, oh yeah, we're moving to Wednesday nights. It doesn't work like that. They can do if they want to, but it will mess up a lot of plans of what they've got already set in place. But it's funny how, when you see people saying, oh, I don't see them as direct competition, look at the ratings they get on the likes of Dynamite. That doesn't prove anything. You know, because the internet at the moment is buzzing, which I've noticed, with Double or Nothing. I feel like at the moment when I look at WWE, even though I don't mind watching it, giving my thoughts and opinions on it, honest truth, I feel like it's lazy booking. You look at the likes of CM Punk. He was on 45 seconds last night. 45 seconds. He's the biggest draw that WWE's got at the moment. And yet you treat him like this. He's not bothered. He's getting paid to do it. Fair enough, 45 seconds. But remember who lines your pockets. It's the fans. And you need to start waking up to realising stuff ain't working yet. People still watch because they can't give up watching it. I've not missed an episode since WrestleMania. I gave up when it turned to 3 hours. And the amount of stuff you cram in those 3 hours, I feel like is hard done by for the fans in attendance. Let alone the people that like myself watching at home at times. You put too much promo time. You put too much emphasis towards your promos for the money that people are paying. Now, people won't realise it because they have been hypnotised. But I literally feel like, literally I've mentioned this before, I don't feel like WWE is worth the money that you're paying for it. That's my own opinion. For what you're actually getting, if you take away the promo time, how much match time you've got? Take away the interference at the end, which is getting mind-numbing at the moment. You're doing the same thing every single week. And it's not adding anything to what you were planning out to do. And yet people still buy into this crap. You know? I want to say this. Right? WWE fans used to shit on TNA. TNA used to do this a lot. Used to do it a lot back in the day. You're just getting lazy and doing stuff, and then because people are buying into your tickets and buying into your merchandise and so on like that. That's why WWE won't listen. The only way WWE will listen if you stop buying into them. You know, it's not me that's frustrated as well. It's other people alongside me are frustrated. Even though we've had okay matches. You know, I said like only in my Raw review, and I'll mention it again. If you want to spruce up your tag team division, do a tag team Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank. Do it. Get a fatal 4-way tag team match. Do that. That'll entertain the fans. Hype it up as the first time ever, like you've been doing years ago when you used to hype up the women's division. You don't have that same hype because you can't think of first time ever. First time ladder match, first time TLC match, first time this, and this. At least one thing you can actually say, first time Money in the Bank match, even though yes, we know it's a ladder match, but have some emphasis towards your tag team division. Even if you're not using the women that are already not even qualified, put them in a makeshift tag team and put them in a fatal 4-way women's tag team ladder match for Money in the Bank. First time ever. That will draw numbers. If that's what I feel like you should be doing with the and elevate your women's tag team division. This is why I was mentioned about the world title and that lot. The only thing you're technically giving two fucks about is the women's IC title more than the actual main titles. Why? Because Becky's involved. Don't get me wrong. Becky's done fantastic for the company, but she's done far better promos than she's gotten recently. It just bugs me. It's literally bugging me sitting here just thinking about it. That Money in the Bank's only around the corner. We're literally only, I think we're one Raw away from Money in the Bank, if I recall, and 2 SmackDowns. And you've not done that much. The way it seems like WWE's had that boom period that people are watching the product and praising it, and then it fizzles. You don't get it that often in WWE at all. It's like once in a blue moon you get that. Because when I did start watching it, properly, I started watching it back. Not this year. I think it was technically started this year. I watched a few episodes in that lot. It felt like the black and gold era of NXT. It had the enjoyment. It had decent matches. Possibly 5-star caliber matches. And it was great. I'm not expecting 5-star matches all the time, though, guys. Don't get me wrong. But it had that sort of feel. You had a long storyline that lasted 5 years that people have been raving about, and then all of a sudden it's not being talked about. That's what I mean. It's had that boom period for the last 5 years, and then it's fizzled off again. I feel like when you look at the Money in the Bank, it can be predictable. It seems like it's being predictable, but is it going to be predictable? Do something that shocks us. Let LA Knight win the briefcase instead of the likes of Seth Rollins winning the briefcase. And I can see he's going to take full opportunity to cash in probably that night on the tag team match. And to cash it on against Jay, because at the moment, the way they're attacking Jay. Because I feel like Jay's going to beat Gunther at Money in the Bank. Or whatever event they're building him up on. Because I was getting really confused then, because just how it feels, guys. It really is a mess at the moment, but it's a glorified mess because people buy into it. That's just me being honest. But anyway, guys, I'm off. Thank you ever so much for tuning in to me rambling on. Until next time, catch you guys soon.